Good morning. Just wanted to make a recording to show you kind of what to do in terms of setting up your courses for the semester and for the quarter. So a couple of things to point out. First of all, this is going to be a 9 weeks course, so it's just going to be for the quarter. But if you notice over here in the right hand corner, it says unpublished, published. Don't publish your course until you have everything set up the way that you want it. Because if you publish it, those requests, if you have students already in the course, those requests are going to go out and the students will be able to accept those course invites and be able to go in and access the course. So be sure that you've got everything set up before you publish your course. That should be the very last thing that you do. The very first thing that you should do, and let me pull my little screen over here. Of course, you need a welcome page, and this is already set up. I'll have to make you another recording when I make a welcome page. You need to set up a home page, and I'll show you how to do that. This was, like I said, already set up because it was copied from a course that I already had. But you want to go to settings first off, and you want to adjust your dates. So for this course, with this being a quarter course, it's going to start, they actually don't start until the 8th. The students don't start until the 8th. And then the end of the quarter is March the 8th, and you want to set this to the following day because it'll end at midnight. So if you do it as March the 8th, it would actually cut off at March the 7th midnight. So it would prevent them from working that day. So you want to do it the following day. You actually can change the time. I just leave it open all the way until midnight. I find that to be easiest. A couple of other things that you want to be sure that you've got. If it's not already set up for you, make sure that these first two boxes are clicked here. Restrict those students. Make sure this one is also clicked. Users can only participate. Also, you want to have these three boxes clicked as well. No other boxes clicked. Show recent announcements on course homepage up to 3. Let students attach files to discussion, and then hide grade distribution graphs. Then you want to update course details. The next thing that you want to do is you want to come up here to navigation. And you want to be sure that you only have these items in your navigation. So home, syllabus, announcements, modules, grades, people. Those should be the only things that you have in there. If there's something that you don't want, like people, they don't necessarily need that. You can drag it down here below. These items the students can't see. Come down to the very bottom and click Save. Something else that you want to be sure that you've got in the course before you publish it is your syllabus. So make sure that you've got your syllabus. Again, I would have to copy and paste over usually this format from another course. The only thing I need to go in here and do is put in the module. So I usually list under course summary, I list the modules within the course. Under course summary, I need to go in and do that. And the way to do that is just click Edit, come down, and then I believe it's course summary that we had it titled. You would type in course summary or course overview, I think is what we titled it. I would have to check my other pages, and I can do that real quick. Let me check Earth Science. And that's only half of my classes that you saw there. Course outline is what we had it titled as. So title it course outline, and then list the modules in the course for this either semester or quarter or however it's going to be. Or if it's a year-long course like for the middle school courses, but they chop up the shells by quarters for grade purposes, you can just list the entire year and put Q1 and those modules, Q2, those modules, or you could put semester 1, list the modules for semester 1, and then semester 2, or semester A, semester B, and list the modules for each. You could do it that way as well. So make sure you've got your syllabus set up. What I do is copy the formatting over from a previous course that I've had and just adjust it as needed. Again, be sure that you go back in and put those course outlines in. I'll have to do that for this one. Modules, You want to make sure that you have as much unpublished as possible in modules. Even though the course is not published, once the course is published, you want to have very few items published. So I have module 1 published, but as you notice when I go down here, the assignments are actually unpublished or need to be unpublished. So I'll unpublish the assignments. This one actually needs to be published. Well, for 9 weeks, no it won't, because they have a shorter time. So I'll unpublish each individual item that goes for a grade until I get due dates in. Once I get due dates in, I will publish those as I put due dates in. But if you don't hide them, if you don't unpublish them, like for example, this course was copied over from a course that I already had, so it has due dates assigned. If you do not unpublish these, then the students will still be able to access them because they'll come up in their to-do list, even if the module itself is not published. So even if you've got the module unpublished, but the assignments are still published in the module, those assignments will come up in the student to-do list regardless of whether the student can access the module or not. So you want to be sure that you've got every little detail done. You want to make sure you've got all of those extra items unpublished. And what I'll actually do is I'll unpublish the units until we get to them, go in and take all these extra items out, just like that, and then I hit refresh just to make sure that I didn't miss any. And then I'll just skim back over the units not published. All assignments are not published. And I'll keep going all the way down and do that for all of the modules. Unpublish the module until you get there, unpublish all of the assignments. The next thing that you want to be sure that you do is you want to set up the gradebook in the course. And I know we've previously gone over this, but to do that, you go to assignments to set up the gradebook. And this probably has my categories already in it because, again, this course was copied from a previous course. But what you would do is click the group to create a new group. So for example, I have summative, formative, final, midterm, and pretest. This is where I went in and typed those in one by one and gave the percentage. Or you can just type them in and then give the percentages or the weights after you get your categories set up. To do that, to assign weights after you've got categories already created, is click Assign Weight Groups. And you can go in and see all of those and do them right here, and you can see what it totals out to. So you can do it that way. Once you go in and unpublish all those extra items, all of these should also be unpublished. So this is just a good way to double check and make sure that you got all of those items unpublished. Make sure you don't have any items that need to be taken out. For example, these 3 things right here, I'll delete these things just so that there's no confusion. And then whoever the facilitator is in the class, if we determine that we want to do notebook checks and they're willing to go around and do a spot check for me for those, I'll enter notebook checks in as we do those. I'll enter those in, and I've showed you how to create assignments, but just real quickly, if you need to re-see that, click the plus sign beside the group title, click whether you want it to be an assignment, discussion, quiz. For notebook checks, I just leave it as assignment. Type it in, give it a due date, and give it the point value, click save and publish just for notebook checks. I don't go to more options for notebook checks because they're not actually turning anything in. If you needed them to turn something in as a file upload, you would go to more options and have that setting done as well. And that setting right here is submission type, online, and then you would put whether you want text or file or both, or whatever the submission type is that you want it. And then be sure to come down and click save and publish. But we're not saving and publishing anything right here. I'm just quickly going over this for you. Once you get all of those items done, you've got your home page created. You've got your settings done. You've got your syllabus done. You've got all of your items unpublished or published. You've got your gradebook set up. The next thing that you want to be sure to do is to go in and set up some due dates. So go in and pace a little bit. I would say pace for 2 weeks, even if you don't have it published. Pace for 2 weeks out. Create any assignments that go with that pacing for those 2 weeks. That way, when the students start back or when the students work, you're a little bit ahead of the game and you continue to press forward like that as the students work in the course. You can do it every 2 weeks, or you can add a week every week, however you want to do it. The next thing after you get that pacing is to be sure that you create an announcement for when the students start back. And to do that, you just go to announcements, click the plus sign. Of course, I need to delete all of those old announcements because this was a copied course. Put in your title, put in whatever it is that you need to tell them. I post the agenda for the week and I can show you that. Then click delay posting, and don't post it until the day of. So for example, the students are not going to start until January 8th in this one. I would delay the posting until January the 8th. And then be sure to click save down here at the bottom. But we're not saving because I didn't put anything in there. And real quickly, just to show you kind of what some of my agendas look like. Let's see, let's not do the one during the week of finals. Let's check this one. All right, so I briefly describe what the notebook checks are. Veterans Day, they didn't have school, it was a holiday, so I noted that. That would have been the day they would have had live session. So I would have posted in here live session and given a time. Then I go through and list the items that need to be done for the rest of the week. So I would go ahead and post that agenda for those students for that week when they start back, have that done, have that off of my plate. So for the most part, that's it. I'll make you a recording as far as creating a new homepage and send that over to you because I do have a course that does need a homepage. So if you've got any questions, need any help with anything, please let me know. I'll be glad to help you.